Jho Low, the infamous villain in Malaysia's epic 1MDB corruption debacle, is back in the news and with a vengeance. Not only has the whereabouts of the chubby-faced financial scammer come under new scrutiny, his prized yacht has also been sold, and at nearly 3 times the price the Malaysian government, which seized it, had to auction it off for. Wherever he is, Jho Low must be cursing like mad. If only Najib and UMNO hadn't lost the election in 2018, he might be a trillionaire today, mocked an analyst, who spoke to PoliticsNow Malaysia on the condition of anonymity. Obviously, trillionaire would be overstating Jho and his benefactor, the disgraced ex-Prime Minister Najib Razak's capabilities. But let's not underestimate either of their greed or propensity for corruption, cautioned the analyst. Put it this way, if Najib had stayed on as PM and UMNO was still the ruling party, with inflation and the way prices have leapt, chances are Jho would have struck dozens more surefire deals, more than enough to cover up the gaping holes in 1MDB, said the analyst. But what about the wreckage left in their wake as the duo rampaged through the world financial markets, abusing almost with contempt the global systems as they sowed their fraudulent deals? Also, what about the foreign governments, including the US, Singapore and Switzerland, that screamed for blood after the 1MDB carnage led to the closure of one bank after another? Would they not have demanded justice? We live in a capitalist world. Money can buy as well as settle almost everything under the sky. So long as Najib still headed the Malaysian government, even if there is a foreign arrest warrant out for him, he can still dodge it just like Russian President Vladimir Putin, who is wanted over the Ukraine conflict. Of course, Putin and Najib are 2 very different cases. But yes, I believe so long as Najib had held on to power, he could negotiate, counteroffer, even strike deals to get himself and Jho off the hook. Even the US didn't directly name him or his wife Rasma Mansur when they charged Jho and Najib's stepson Riza Aziz, the analyst elaborated. Jho still at large, Najib in jail, UMNO still unrepentant. Indeed, both Jho and Najib were already rumored to be billionaires then, who undeniably had under their control billions of dollars. So even if not trillionaires or near to trillionaire yet in the class of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, it's not impossible that Jho and Najib would find themselves super billionaires now and possibly beyond the reach of the long arms of most of the governments in the world today. Sadly for the duo and gladly for the rest of the world, Malaysian voters were not as gullible as thought. Outraged at the 1MDB scandal that saw billions of dollars stolen and siphoned out of the country, they booted out Najib and UMNO, in the process also bringing down the 6 decades-old hegemonic UMNO government. Najib, who has always denied guilt, is now in jail serving a reduced 6-year jail sentence and lobbying to be placed under house detention, where he can still tug at the levers of top power while reposing in the plush comfort of his palatial home. UMNO, just as unrepentant, has managed to find its way back to the government, although only as a reduced partner, and is said to be still trying to strike secret deals with Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to secure their ex-president Najib's freedom. As for Jho, he has been a fugitive since the fateful 2018 general election. Now 43 years old, Jho's whereabouts remain a mystery to this day, although the latest unconfirmed rumor is that he is now in Myanmar and speculation has always been rife that he had undergone facial surgery to escape detection. 5 years on, Equanimity sells for 3 times what auction could get. On Thursday, November the 21st, Malaysians woke up to news that his beautiful yacht, the Equanimity, that they used to ogle at had been sold to a US tech billionaire Gabe Newell, a former Microsoft pioneer who made his fortune developing video games such as Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress. Many in Malaysia will remember how proud Jho had been of the Equanimity, as well as the news reports about how he took his mother to the shipyard to view it when it was in the final stages of commission. The 364-feet superyacht was valued at US $250 million or 1.1 billion ringgit when it was completed in 2014. Mahathir Mohamad, the legendary ex-prime minister whose government had overthrown Najib and UMNO, had seized Jho's prized ship and renamed it the Tranquility. Then, still very much tarnished by the 1MDB scandal, there were few takers and Mahathir was forced to sell the Tranquility to the Hentang Group for a discounted price of US $126 million, or 514 million ringgit, in 2019. A shrewd politician and also one with a mischievous side, Mahathir had docked the Tranquility at Port Klang, allowing thousands of Malaysians to catch a glimpse of the super yacht, a symbol of the ultra-luxury that they could only dream of and which many could not even begin to imagine ever owning. Able to accommodate up to 26 guests and 31 crew members, Pictures that were made public by Mahathir showed the plushest of interiors, with inches-deep carpeting and wood paneling of the finest quality, not to mention fixtures and fittings fit for the grandest of palaces. Since 2021 and 2023, the Tranquility has undergone several refits and is now called the Draak, which is Dutch for dragon. It is now valued at US $335 million, which is nearly 3 times what Mahathir was forced to take 5 years ago and about 34% higher than Jho's original cost. Really, Myanmar? Malaysian police insist they are still looking for Jho and have put out a notice with Interpol. But most people in the country, where politics and bribery often overtake professionalism and truth, take the claims with a pinch of salt. So far, the best guess was that Jho was hiding in China, but Beijing has repeatedly denied this. And it looks like the Chinese authorities may not be wrong. According to Najib's lawyer, Jho is not there but very much closer by to home, in neighboring Myanmar, where he is allegedly being protected by the junta or the military regime that governs the Southeast Asian country. The lawyer, Shafi Abdullah, made this surmise after cross-examining another key witness Jasmine Liu in the ongoing trial against the ex-premier. Najib, now 71, is still facing 4 charges of abusing his position to obtain 2.3 billion ringgit from state-owned Fund 1 MDB, and another 21 money laundering charges involving the same amount. At the start, Najib was dogged in his insistence that he didn't know or had ever met Jho, but as the dirt continued to emerge, that narrative has changed to one where apparently he was misled and duped by Jho. Although Najib recently apologized for the scandal that plunged Malaysia into the Hall of Infamy as one of the most corrupt countries in the world, he did not admit guilt. No surprises then that most Malaysians, other than his die-hard supporters and the UMNO party, poured scorn on the apology, accusing him of hypocrisy and harboring ulterior motives such as trying to win home detention from Anwar or perhaps even a discharge from his court trials. His relationship with Jho, who is a close friend of his stepson Riza Aziz, has soured since their heydays, where each lived life to the fullest, savoring the very best of the best the man-made world could offer, thanks to the plundering and looting that went on behind the scenes.